What's up, Lowrider family? Welcome back to another episode of Lowlowsandmore. Now today, as you guys can tell, I'm gonna put the bridge in. In the last video, you guys can tell that I told you guys that I didn't have time due to my sister. I had to go help my sister out. So I got the bridge ready. I made it. Put the tubing in the middle. That way that the cylinders don't squeak. So this is gonna be a short video because I think on this same video with the bridge, I'm gonna show you how to wire the switches completely, and I'm gonna go off of CCE's color code. No, I'm not gonna print their diagram. I'm just gonna go by their colors, and that way, if he wants to do something himself, or just follow back a wire or something, he can just look up CCE's color codes and he can figure it out himself if anything happens, or if he wants to switch something up. It's all up to him. So let's see, what's that? Let me go ahead and tack this into place, and we'll be right back. And I'll show you how I mock it up here by myself. So let me tack this into place, and we'll be right back. Alright, well, I went overboard. I mean, when I started working on the caddy, it was early in the morning, but a homeboy wanted to work on his car too, and I was kind of giving him instructions on how to work on his car, but that took some time away from me doing what I had to do on the caddy. So I went ahead, welded up the bridge in. I got one cylinder in so far, and then I realized that I forgot to tell you guys. So what I did to put the bridge in by myself is I used C-clamps. You can use that style right there, or the big metal ones. The metal ones are more safe, you can say. I use this big one right here. So this one, the C is deeper. By that I mean deeper, going it this way. So the frame fits perfectly. I put this on one side, slip the bridge in. The bridge holds itself up here while I adjust the side that I'm on, and then put the C clamps. So this is how I did it by myself, because those bridges are not light. So it is late. It's like almost 10:30, I'm guessing. So I'm just gonna put the other cylinder in and see how high this thing sits. Be right back. Okay, now we're back. As you guys can tell, we're gonna do the switches. So I got the color code from CCE. I think it's the right one. So if the homeboy wants to work on it, he can just follow this color code. The color code that he finds online, it'll be the same. But he can always ask me questions if needed. So for doing the switch part, all we really need is some wire strippers, some of these eye connectors. You can use, I should have opened it. You can use two different styles. You can use eyelet kind, it's like a circle, or you can use the one that has like an opening on it, like a fork. You can use those. Doesn't matter which ones you use, but preferably I like to use these because these won't slip out. Because if these slip out on your switch and they ground on something, something's gonna spark and possibly catch fire. Because you'll put those eyelets, you'll screw them right there. to all those screws. So you need your strippers, your wire strippers, and that's pretty much it, and a Phillips screwdriver to tighten them down. Since the homeboy here wants front, back, and side to side on a 2-pump 4-dump setup, here I did the little diagram so I can just quickly do it instead of just going back and thinking, oh wait, what color was I gonna do again? So okay, real quick on the colors. Green is up for the front, blue back for the up, red is the power wire that feeds off of the second battery, yellow dump front right, orange dump front left, purple, so on and so forth. You get the point, right? You know. And then you guys are probably looking at this. Well, you just said that the green and blue are the switch up wires. Yes, that's true. But when you guys hit the switch up, you know, up, there's a little toggle in the entire thing. So this switch, hit it up, you hit the toggle that way, right? Well, that same, it's like a big piece of metal, right? There's like a piece of metal right there. You go up, that piece of metal comes down this way. So your switch wire, you're gonna want to put it on the lower prongs, of the switch. So right here instead of up here. So hopefully that makes sense. Because you go down, then it's gonna touch those dump color wires right there, orange and brown and purple. So for a front, back, side to side setup, one switch is going to be the front only, one's going to be the back only, the left will actually lift up the whole front, and the other one will lift up the whole back. But when you dump on the left, it's going to dump the left side of the car, and this one's going to dump the right side of the car, just like this right here. So just like that. See, orange and yellow, brown and purple. Orange and brown because they're on the left side of the car. Yellow and purple are on the right side. So brown, no, yeah. Or did I just confuse myself? Yeah, on the left side. You guys get the point. I think I confused myself. Alright, I got the power wire done. So it comes straight off of the wire right here that goes into the trunk, and I jumped it from each switch, from each prong. It's pretty obvious that the prongs in the middle are the power wire, are the ones that receive the 24-volt power. Let's see, do they say power on them? No, but it says off. You know, and of course when you hit it down and up, it's on. This power gets either sent to these prongs or those prongs. So, yep, see how it looks pretty clean right there? It'll look better if it was mounted onto the plate. But I mean, you guys get the idea, right? So, I'll show you guys how to do this next part, because this is the easy part, because all you gotta do is jump. But now we're gonna have to jump from one switch to a different switch, which isn't much. It's actually, you know, instead of jumping one wire so many times, we're only gonna jump one wire like twice, really. So yeah, let me get set up real quick and we'll get started on a different wire. So we're gonna do the up switch. We're gonna do the front pump up switch. So if you guys remember from the video, but the little diagram that I drew out real quick, just so I'm not having to really think about it, I can just go ahead and do it and following my picture that I drew out. This is going to be my front switch, and this other switch is going to receive the front pump as well. So as you guys can tell, I already cut out my wire. To cut out a good amount of wire, I just recommend you put the switches in the plate and measure it out, because the last thing you want is too much wire and for it to look, you know, kind of ghetto. You kind of don't want it. So these two switches are going to get the front pump switch up. So as you can kind of see that I have a little too much wire on this side. I'm going to cut off about 1/4 inch. So grab my pliers, my wire strippers. Cut about that much. So I'm going to go from there to there. And I'm going to take the wire, the green wire that comes out of the main wire. I'm going to put one connector there, one connector there. But if you, as you guys pay attention though, you see how I'm only using one connector here, one connector there, not two here and two there, making like one wire here and then another wire here. You know, this makes it look pretty clean, more professional, like you can say. So after you get your proper wire length, go ahead, cut the ends off, the rubber part off. You probably want to get a good, I don't know, 1/4 inch, close to 1/4 inch. You know, give the wire a good spin. It'll be easier to put it in the little eyelet connector. My bad if the camera's trying to focus a lot. Okay. Now grab your one connector. I'm only going to put it right here and then the other one right there. So we'll put these two wires together. They won't, let's see, what I'm trying to say, they're not going to really bind together. I'm just trying to get them to stick as good as possible together. Put your connector over that. Now, I want to show you my trick of how I do these. Let's see. Well, okay. I don't know if you guys can tell, but these little eyelet connectors in here where you put the wire through, there's a little split. What I like to do is I'll use that little part right here to crimp it. I'll crimp one flap first and then I'll work on the other flap. Let's see if you guys can see it. I'll crimp one flap down first. Let's see. You see that? I'll crimp that flap down and then I'll bring over the other side. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I never have an issue. And then crimp it down. And then give it the tug test. It's not gonna go anywhere. If you feel like a slight click, sooner or later this thing is gonna pop off. But this is nice and solid. Go ahead, toss on another one. On the other, when doing the front switches, it's always easy because you're not having to jump so many wires. Now at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys something that I've been wanting to show you guys for a while. Okay, now take off your screw from the switch. back on. Okay, now the other one. Sorry you guys if this seems a little boring, but I guess it's sometimes best to show some things instead of nothing, so you guys can kind of see the process. And I'm trying to get better at that, showing you guys the real process. So kind of just stick that in there. There you go. I got a little bit slightly extra wire, but it's not too bad. You won't be able to see it when it's under the dash, but it's not a lot like a lot of people usually do. So yeah, you guys get the idea. So let me go ahead and do the other front. No, not the front, the back up wire done, and then we'll go ahead and we'll jump the back dumps. We'll jump all the dumps. How about that? So let me do the other up switch wire and we'll be right back. Cool. So I went ahead, I wired up the other switch up wire. Unfortunately, I don't have any blue wire. I thought I did. So I ended up using white wire for the blue. And then I figured out that I don't have any purple wire. So when I'm jumping the purple wire, I'm going to use black wire that I have here. Because on this wiring, I'm not going to use white and I'm not going to use black. So I'm going to use the orange, the brown, the yellow, and the purple. So black and white are the only ones I'm not going to use off of the main wire. So let me go ahead, jump the other dumps, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to jump the other dumps. I mean, it's pretty much the same process. Just pretty much follow the diagram. If you find a diagram online, you can follow that. But all I did was get a color code and then made my own diagram of where I'm gonna put what wire. So let me take care of a couple of wires and then I'll show you the last part of wiring these switches. In all reality, you can use your own color code. Just keep track of what color you want to do what. You know, for example, do you want your brown to be your switch up for the front? Do you want black to be switch up for the back? Do you want yellow to be your back rear dump? The white back rear, or you get the point, rear left dump, you know, or the front dump for your front pump right here, the purple one. Or if you have two dumps for the front, you know, either left or right dump depending. So you can go off your own color code if you wanted to. It's pretty easy to wire up the switches. So let me take care of a couple of wires and then we'll be right back. Okay, so as you guys can see, that I went ahead and pretty much did just about everything. So these wires up here are the dump wires. As you guys can see, this is the front switch. The front switch, two dumps right here. So this is the, I want to say, this is the left side, and the yellow is the right side. So here's the right side dump switch of the entire car, of the side, and here's the left side dump switch. So it'll go side to side down. Can't really do side to side up unless you have 4 pumps. I mean, you can probably do it with 2 with a special manifold block, but that depends if you want to spend that extra money. But this is fun too anyways. Just doing 2 pumps with 4 dumps, it works just fine. So I got one wire left to do, which I was going to show you guys, because all we're jumping is from the one switch to a side switch. So I got the wire ready. All I got to do is connect it, put the connector together. And this is one other reason why I like CCE. As you guys can see, this wire, the purple wire, is copper. This wire I bought from Black Magic because it was like $1 cheaper, I think, and it's not completely copper. It's coated with copper or coated with something else. So, but yeah, because it comes in a roll of wire like that, and then I take it apart. I take about a foot or two off so I can do all this right here. So this is why I like CC. They don't cheap out on their stuff, and believe it or not, they're decent low price. Just on certain items on other companies charge slightly less. But let's put the connector on those. And if you guys remember earlier, remember that slit I was talking about right there? That little slit up top of the aluminum. That's where I bring one flap down and then I bring the other flap and fold it over it. That's how I get a good connection on these, and they don't come loose. So let's just twist these together. They're not gonna really twist together. Just do the best to bring them close to each other. Put that over there. One flap over. And the other one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it always creates a good connection. There we go. No click, so you know that is working properly. It will work properly. So now we screw them to the switches itself. Okay, now next, and remember that this switch setup right here is for front, back, side to side. So okay, that's nice and tight. The screws on the switches don't have to be super tight. Just make sure that they're real snug on there. I've never had a problem to where these vibrated off or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them on the switch plate real quick. Let's see, I'll use one as an example. So this is my front switch. So I'm gonna put my front switch there. So it'll be just like this. So take this, then take the nut off. You can take both washers off, but I'll leave one washer on there on the back and one in the front. So there's two nuts. The thing is, when you put your switch plate on, there's quite a bit of thread popping out. So we're not gonna leave a whole lot of thread. So what we'll do is we'll spin this a little bit. Right about there. So we'll put the back washer back on. Let's see. we go. So see how you get a clean flush look right there? That's pretty good right there. So let me go ahead and do the rest of them, and we'll be right back. And then I got a little surprise for you guys. Alright, so the switch panel is all done. It's switched up and ready to go. So now what we got to do is run this in the car, bring it out to the trunk, and we're going to wire this end of the wires to a wiring block, and then from there it gets spread out to the solenoids or to the dumps. So that's the more easier part. I'm gonna go ahead and do a part 2 to completely wire up the entire system. So this is part 1 to beginning the wiring process of the hydraulics. So part 2 will be wiring the entire thing in the trunk, from the batteries to the pumps, to the dumps, to the solenoids and stuff like that. So yeah, like once again, I just went off of the CCE color code that they had, and then I created my own little diagram just so I can quickly wire it up. So, and make sure that the screws are snug, you know, because if they're super tight, then they'll break. They're kind of flimsy. One thing though is make sure that the top connectors are not touching the switch plate, because it'll ground and then it'll cause a fire. So what I'll do to these upper tabs is I'll bend them down. Let's see, bend them down like that. We'll try and bend it down at the tab that comes off of the switch. There we go. But make sure that they don't always touch. Make sure they don't touch the power connectors, which are in the middle of the switches. So I recommend bending these down just a little bit, just so they don't ground out on anything once you put this in the car, just like that. So let's see, like I was saying earlier, your up switch wire will be on the lower part of the switch, because when you hit up, then that little piece touches the up switch. So when you hit down, the toggle hits the dump wire and it dumps it. So that's how it works. And all you really need is, you can either use a socket or you can use this to tighten the switches to the switch plate, scissors if you want to, and screwdriver and wire strippers. I like these because it comes with different types of crimpers and the wiring cutters, the wire strippers part. Yeah, and it's always great if you guys go to like swap meets or what are they called? The flea markets, the pulgas, and they sell connectors for cheap. Just grab them, because you'll pay way less than what you do at AutoZone or O'Reilly's. So that's pretty much it for wiring for part 1 for the switches. Part 2, we're gonna wire the whole thing. Now the little excitement, not the excitement, but the little surprise I want to show you guys. So what I have is, I got Lowlowsandmore stickers. I bought these to see if you guys are willing to buy and help support the channel. That way that I can make more content for you guys, more money, more stuff that I can do either to my truck and show you guys, you know. And one spoiler alert, I am gonna start doing powder coat chrome, so I can show you guys how to do that. And powder coat chrome is a better option for me, since I do drive my truck a lot, and then with powder coat chrome I don't have to worry about actually chipping chrome. I can just repowder coat it, and it's cheaper, and it looks super close to regular chrome. But you guys will see that in the future. The powder coat gun is on its way. I just gotta get the oven and put it in my parents' garage. I am paying rent on the garage, so they won't complain that I have too much crap in the garage of theirs. But if you guys are willing to help me out, please cop some stickers. I might end up, if these sell out quick, then I'll get more, and then I think I'll start doing shirts and sweaters and hoodies. Well, mainly just shirts and hoodies. And maybe down the road do, what are they called, those little tags that you can put on your keychain. They're about 2-3 inches long. These stickers, they're 3 inches long, I believe, or 4 inches long. So I'm selling these for these are for $4.50 shipped to you. $4.50 shipped. So if you buy more than 5, then I'll cut you a deal. But to place an order, and if you want to talk to me, I put an email in the description down below, and I can ship them out to you, and you guys can pay through PayPal. So if you guys got a PayPal, you guys can pay for these. So hopefully you guys like these stickers. They're the first ones I've ever bought. So I didn't think I was ever going to buy stuff to sell for the channel to help support the channel. So hopefully you guys like them, and cop yourself some, support the channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, man. I'm gonna be doing more stuff, lowriders stuff and repairs. Believe it or not, I got another customer that recently dropped off his car yesterday, and it's bad. He knows it's bad. He didn't build it, he bought it already like that, but something happened, and you guys will have to wait for the next video. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. It really helps out a lot. It'll motivate me more to do this for you guys. Cop some stickers. That's it for me for today. Peace.